Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be doing a speed and performance test of the brand new Pegassi Vortex bike that was added into Grand Theft Auto Online just today. We're going to be comparing it with some of the other best bikes in the game, and we're also going to be talking about if it's worth it for you to buy. We're also going to be looking at some buyer bewares, what I think about the bike itself, and what you need to look out for before you eventually make this purchase. Like I said, we've got a lot to cover today, so let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into it and let's get it started. So the first thing we're going to be doing in today's video is testing these bikes around a circuit. Now, I just want to tell you guys that I am not a professional racer in any way whatsoever, nor do I claim to be, and these are just my own personal tests. But we are going to be starting off with the brand new Vortex so that we can kind of compare it to the other bikes in the game, and my results were not that bad. You know, I found the bike to be very usable. It was good around corners. It's got pretty good acceleration and top speed, and there wasn't anything that was like overly flawed with this bike. It just felt like a normal kind of cafe racer sports bike that I felt really comfortable using. Obviously, I had to get used to the track a little bit, had to get used to the bike a little bit, but I was able to get a pretty good time going around this course. My best time ended up being 1 minute 4 seconds, 0.198, and you'll see how that compares to the other bikes in the game, and it should give you a pretty good idea of where the Vortex is going to stack up between some of the ones that were just added in bikers, as well as some of the other bikes that have been in the game since day one. So that was my time right there, 1 minute 4 seconds, 0.198, pretty good time. Now what I wanted to do is also compare that to what is proclaimed as the fastest bike in the game, the best overall bike, and that is the Hikachu Drag. And I had very good results with the Hikachu Drag. Obviously, you guys know that it is the best bike in the game. It is just so quick. Its braking is lightning fast. It is amazing around turns, has unbelievable handling, and it showed in my time. Obviously, I was able to take it around this course pretty quickly, and I ended up getting a total time, or a best lap time, I should say, of 1 minute 1 second, 0.095, which, if we compare that to the Vortex, is nearly about 3 seconds quicker. Now, once again, this is where I want to jump in and say I am no means a professional racer by any means whatsoever, or professional in anything that I'm doing, but those results are pretty shocking right there, and I think I did about 3 or 4 or 5 laps of each, and I'm assuming that if you were to do a very similar test, that you would see nearly the same results. So that's a pretty crazy time right there for our Hikachu Drag. And it just tells you that the Hikachu Drag is still the most dominant, fastest, quickest, best bike in the game. And the Pegassi Vortex does not knock it off its podium. So it is going to remain kind of the top bike in the game. But now what I want to do is kind of find a middle ground. Where does the Pegassi Vortex compare best to? And I found that in my results, it compared best to the Akuma. So not only does it look similar to the Akuma, it feels similar to the Akuma, and it also has very similar stats to the Akuma as well. And the best lap time that I was able to acquire with the Akuma was 1 minute 3 seconds, 0.129. So you can see very close to the new Pegassi Vortex in terms of time. So that's kind of where I found that it fit, kind of in that sweet spot right there. It's certainly not faster, not quicker, not better than the Hikachu Drag. And if you came here to this video wondering if it's going to be the new best bike in the game, it is not. And I think that it should have been obvious based off of the price and based off of the fact that this was kind of just like a bonus vehicle that was added. So maybe you shouldn't have expected too much out of it, but it is not going to be better than the new Hikachu Drag that came with Grand Theft Auto Online bikers. However, it still is a very usable bike in the game. It kind of sits in between that sweet spot of the Bati and the Akuma. So if you have the Hikachu Drag at the very top, and then kind of at a slightly lower level, you have the Bati and the Akuma, this bike fits right there. So is it bad? Absolutely not. In fact, this bike is really good. Kind of sandwiched or maybe right behind the Bati and Akuma when it comes to lap time. So yeah, you'll be able to use this bike in a competitive setting, no problem. So if you really like the bike and you're obviously a competent racer, a competent motorcycle driver, you're not going to have any problem at least competing and definitely going for a shot at winning a lot of the races that you're going to be going for here. And that's really, I think, all we can ask for out of a bike like this. You just want it to be able to be competitive, and the Pegassi Vortex is certainly a competitive bike and one that isn't going to let you down in races. So that was the lap time right there. But what I also wanted to do was kind of test this on a drag race just to see if our results would be relatively the same, and for the most part, they were. So we started off with the Akachu Drag, and the Akachu Drag is obviously a screamer of a bike. Now, all of these bikes have been fully upgraded to the max. I wasn't doing any particular wheeling or leaning forward, and obviously I didn't do any acceleration off the start, just held down the trigger, and as soon as I was able to go, I went. And like I said, my times were relatively similar. The Akachu Drag coming in with the best drag time at around 21 seconds. We had the Akuma coming in with a time of around 22.5 seconds, so about a second slower on the drag time than the Akachu Drag. And then finally, last but not least, we had the Vortex, which was just slightly slower on the drag at about 22.991 seconds. So like I said, it really does fit into that mold of Akachu Drag, Akuma, Bati, and then right after that, you get that slightly lower tier of where the Pegassi Vortex is going to sit. So like I said, I think the bike is awesome. I think it's really cool, and performance-wise, it's great to know that it at least can compete with the other bikes in the game. And although it might not maybe be the fastest or most powerful like the Akachu Drag, it still is definitely not going to be a disappointment in races, around circuits, drag races, whatever the case might be. Now what I want to do is talk about some buyer bewares and talking about the vehicle itself. So if we do compare it to the Bati and Akuma, it is much more expensive. Now it is cheaper than the Akachu Drag, so that's one thing to look at there by a significant amount. The Pegassi Vortex is $356,000, and when you compare that to other bikes like the Bati and the Akuma, which literally are going to cost you only tens of thousands of dollars, that is a pretty significant price jump and a pretty significant price increase. However, that is much less expensive than the $1 million Akachu Drag by nearly over $600,000 if you don't really include customization or anything like that. So there's your real differences right there. Akachu Drag, best in the game, but most expensive. Pegassi Vortex, kind of behind the Bati and Akuma, and still much more expensive. However, what you're paying for on this bike probably isn't, for the most part, its performance. What you're really paying for here is the awesome customization, and that's where this bike does not disappoint. This bike has amazing customization. I call it the alien bike because it has a ton of alien customizations that you can do to the lights. It also has a unique set of headlights that, instead of using actual LEDs, uses the secondary color. So it's a great way where you can get orange kind of lights, green lights, blue lights, purple lights, whatever you want. There's an option where you can change to get that unique color. There's also a bunch of different options as far as changing the seat, as far as changing the engine block itself. There's a unique one called It's Lit, which will do the very same thing. It'll like make your engine block glow up, which is so awesome. So that's where this bike is really going to shine, in the fact that it has amazing customization. And I think that's what a lot of Grand Theft Auto Online bikers was about. Unique bikes that have awesome customization, and it just looks menacing. It looks awesome. It's very, very cool. One of the only downsides I'd say to this bike is that it's only a one-seater, but we kind of saw that with many of the other bikes that were added in bikers, just like the Shih Tzu Defiler. The Vortex is only going to be a one-seater bike, so that is going to be slightly unfortunate if you ever wanted to give your friends a ride. They're not going to be able to hop on, but overall, I really like this bike. To give you guys some just basic buyer bewares, it is a little pricey. It's just barely less expensive than the Defiler, but it is one of the more pricier bikes we did see in bikers, so just keep that in mind. And also keep in mind that it is not better than the Akachu Drag, so if you were wanting it to be that, that isn't going to be the case. But other than that, it's got great customization. I love the look. I think it's super awesome. I think it's a great, unique bike with, like I said, customization we've never seen before. And if that's something you love, you should absolutely go for the new Pegassi Vortex. The only other thing I kind of want you guys to be aware of is there's still a lot of unreleased content that's not in the game yet, including the Shotaro Tron bike, which is likely to become the best in the game, and that's nearly $3 million for that bike. So once again, we've got some pricey content coming up, as well as another bike that's kind of similar to the Vortex and the Esky that's going to be releasing sometime within the next coming month or so. So just keep that in mind that there was only one bike released today, and if you're on the fence about this and are more excited about the upcoming content, you might want to hold out just a little bit and see what you think of the other content before making this purchase of the Vortex. So like I said, let me know what you think about this bike in the comments section down below. I think it's pretty awesome, and I've been really enjoying my time with it, and hopefully you guys have as well. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. I will be live streaming coming up here on my channel soon, so please do stick around for that. It's going to be a ton of fun. But of course, with that out of the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.